Now, you've learned to hold the violin. You must also learn to hold the bow. Easiest way to do this, I would say, you are sitting in front of your child. Your child is facing you. You put out your left hand, and he'll put out his right hand on top of yours, palm up. You're going to take a pen or a marker or whatever's working. Right now, none of my stuff is working. And you're going to put a dot on the tip of the pinky. And a dot pretty much in the middle of the ring finger. And then another dot very close to that bottom knuckle, bottom joint, I forget what it's called. The one on the index finger reverses direction and it goes pretty close to the tip. On the thumb, you put a dot on the inside corner of the thumb. So, don't know if you can see all 5 at once or not, but here they are. By the way, if my skin looks orange to you, yes, I did just eat some Doritos. And yes, I did just wash my hands 2 or 3 times. I'm beginning to think it has to wear off. Okay, so you take your bow, and now I'm doing a mirror image right now. This is my left hand, but you would do it with your child's right hand. Okay, I bring my bow. If you look at the bow, you have the wood part, you have a finger guard. This black part is called the frog. Right in between the frog and the finger guard, there's a little bare spot of wood, approximately 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to take the middle finger, where the dot is there, and I'm going to put it opposite that bare spot. Okay? Then, the ring finger, the index, do these 3 first, I think. Put your thumb in on that bump. This little bump here, and there's a U in the frog, and there's a little bump on the bottom, that's where the thumb goes. So, middle finger, dot on the bare spot. Ring finger in, index finger in, thumb in on its tip, and pinky on its tip. Now I'm going to do it with my bow hands because it's easier for me to keep track of what I'm doing. I have my middle finger, my ring, my index, my thumb on the bump, my pinky on its tip. That's a perfect bow hand. Notice I'm moving it back toward this a little bit. I was leaning too much this way. You do lean this way and you do lean back, but as a basic bow grip, you want to be kind of there. And then we'll do vertical games, because this is where the bow is most easily balanced. And then you'll do horizontal games like going up to the penthouse and back to the basement and stuff like that. Opening the car door, anything you can think of really. But if you see the bow hand falling apart, you're asking it to do something it's not quite ready for yet. You might just see if you can hold it. It seems to be almost impossible for kids to have a bumpy thumb, a bumpy pinky rather, and a bumpy thumb at the same time. I don't know quite what that is. Those are 2 crucial fingers for holding bow. The thumb is really your main support. The pinky balances the tip, so you don't have so much leverage. The middle fingers have a lot of use and utility for more advanced bow techniques, but not so much at the beginning. I'm going to widen this out, I think. Okay, so then the third thing you need to know before you can start playing is the basic rhythms. We have two of them. Stoppy and a stop. You only get to clap on the stops. Stoppy and a stop, and you have to stay there. Stoppy and a stop. Now you can also do this with hands, stoppy and a, no, that doesn't work. Stoppy and a stop, yeah. Down and up. And you can put your bow hand on your left shoulder, and let me make a shell first, then the bow hand, and go stoppy and a stop. This direction is called the down bow on the violin, and it is your basic bow stroke. Almost every piece is going to start with it, and virtually every single piece ends with it. And usually the strong note, the louder note will be on a down bow. Not 100%, it gets a little more complicated than that. But for right now, stoppy and a stop, stoppy and a stop. And you want to make sure that it's an action from the elbow. Stoppy and a stop, stoppy and a stop. So you might want to put one hand on this elbow and one hand on this elbow, because if the elbows stay in place and you start from the right direction, you've got it made. Now the next one you will be doing is tucka, tucka, stoppy and a stop. And that's just basically the extension of where stop comes from. Tucka, tucka, stoppy and a stop. Tucka, tucka, stoppy and a stop. Set, clap. Tucka, tucka, stoppy and a stop. For those of you who don't read music, sometimes it helps just to count the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 6 and 8 are silent. If you read music, think of 4/16 and 2/8 notes.